Yeah, so yesterday we were talking about these anti-fragile steps. So step one, create redundancies. Instead of having a single salary, try to find a way to make money from your hobbies at other jobs or by starting your own business. If you have only one salary, you might be left with nothing should your employer run into trouble, leaving you in a position of fragility. On the other hand, if you have several options and you lose your primary job, it might just happen that you end up dedicating more time to your secondary job and maybe even make more money at it. You would have beaten that stroke of bad luck and would be, in that case, anti fragile. 100% of the seniors we interviewed in Ogimi had a primary and a secondary occupation. Most of them kept a vegetable garden as a secondary job and sold their produce at the local market. The same idea goes for friendships and personal interests. It's just a matter, as the saying goes, of not putting all your eggs in one basket. In the sphere of romantic relationships, there are those who focus all their energy on their partner and make him or her their whole world. Those people lose everything if the relationship doesn't work out. Whereas if they've cultivated strong friendships and a full life along the way, they'll be in a better position to move on at the end of a relationship. They'll be anti fragile. Right now, you might be thinking, I don't need more than one salary and I'm happy with the friends I've always had. Why should I add anything new? It might seem like a waste of time to add variation to our lives because extraordinary things don't ordinarily happen. We slip into a comfort zone, but the unexpected always happens sooner or later. So it is always good to have multiple sources of income. It is always good to, have secondary sources of passive income and everything. And yes, one person who, if we talk about any relationship, one person has had this relationship with you, since the time you were born, 24/7 with you, and that person you can only see in the mirror, and that is you. So if your relationship with yourself, and especially in the mirror, is of peace and joy, you know, all relationships will have their value. But at the core, you will not be afraid of anything. So, जब हम बोलते हैं ना मुझे डर लग रहा है, मुझे वो लग रहा है, कहीं ना कहीं हमें अपने आप में कोई ऐसा एक डर दिख रहा है which we can actually see, when we see ourselves in the mirror. So mirror work, when we did that book Mirror Work, Louis Hay, was all about that, getting to know and love yourself. So that relationship, if we talk about, is the most important relationships. Spouse, kids, parents, all are secondary. 24 घंटे 7 दिन 365 days a year, यही एक person है जो आपके साथ रहता है. So your relationship with that person has to be the best. Step 2, bet conservatively in certain areas and take many risks in others. The world of finance turns out to be very useful in explaining this concept. If you have $10,000 saved up, you might put $9,000 of that into an index fund or a fixed term deposit and invest the remaining 1,000 in 10 startups with a huge growth potential, say $100 in each. One possible scenario is that 3 of the companies fail, you lose $300. The value of 3 other companies goes down, you lose another $100 to $200. The value of three goes up, and you make $100 or $200, and the value of one of the startup increases 20-fold. You make nearly $2,000 or maybe even more. You still make money even if three of the businesses go completely belly up. You've benefited from the damage just like the Piora. The key to becoming anti-fragile is taking on small risks that might lead to great reward without exposing ourselves to dangers that might sink us, such as investing $10,000 in a fund of questionable reputation that we saw advertised in the newspaper. Step 3, get rid of the things that make you fragile. We are taking the negative route for this exercise. Ask yourself, what makes me fragile? Certain people, things, habits generate losses for us and make us vulnerable. Who and what are they? When we make our newer resolutions, we tend to emphasize adding new challenges to our lives. It's great to have this kind of objective, but setting good redundance goals can have an even bigger impact. For example, stop snacking between meals, eat sweets only once per week, gradually pay off all debt, avoid spending time with toxic people, avoid spending time doing things we don't enjoy simply because we feel obligated to do them. Spend no more than 20 minutes on Facebook per day. To build resilience into our lives, we shouldn't fear adversity because each setback is an opportunity for growth. If we adopt an anti-fragile attitude, we'll find a way to get stronger with every blow, refining our lifestyle and staying focused on our ikigai. Taking a hit or two can be viewed as either a misfortune or an experience that we can apply to all areas of our lives. As we continually make corrections and set new and better goals, as Talib writes in Antifragile, we need randomness, mess, adventures, uncertainty, self discovery. Here are traumatic episodes, all these things that make life worth living. We encourage those interested in the concept of anti fragility to read Nazim Nicholas's Talib Anti Fragile. Life is pure imperfection. As the philosophy of Wabi Sabi teaches us, and the passage of time shows us that everything is fleeting. But if you have a clear sense of your ikigai, each moment will hold so many possibilities that will seem almost like an eternity. So, we talked about three steps of, not being fragile. Now, what exactly are they trying to be? See, हम इतना चीजों पे डिपेंडेंट हो चुके हैं that if something happens in our space, the first thing or the first reaction is that we are scared. "हैं? ये कैसे हो गया? हैं?" Because हमने उस चीज को इतनी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस दी हुई है कि हमें समझ ही नहीं आ रहा why are we reacting like this. I mean, it's a very common notion that 82% of the people, when they were surveyed, this was a survey done long back, actually have a problem saying no, and they have to say yes. 82%. मतलब 100 में से 82 people were, they wanted to say no, but just कि यार अगले को क्या लगेगा, मेरे बारे में क्या सोचेगा, यार ऐसे अच्छा नहीं लगता, ये है वो. They said yes. Hello. हम क्या इनवाइट कर रहे हैं? I am not saying say no all the time. But when you know that, bhaiya, nahi, this is not going to add anything to me, you can say no. It's okay to say no. Because you need to maintain yourself first. You are your responsibility and you are your only responsibility. सबसे पहले आप हो. आप ठीक हो तो आप कुछ कर सकते हो ना. अगर उस प्रोसेस में मैं अपनी लाती काट रहा हूं, will I be able to help people? No. So you need to get yourself secured first and make sure that you have this entirely clear with you that you need to help yourself first. Then you are in a better position to help the other person. अदर पर्सन को हेल्प करने के चक्करों में अगर हम अपनी धजियां पहले उड़ा लेंगे तो ना हम अपने आप को ट्रूली सेटिस्फाई कर पाएंगे, ना ही हम अगले की पूरी हेल्प कर पाएंगे. We are able to help the other person only when we are actually truly satisfied with ourselves.
But Arjun, then what? How do you talk about that? कभी-कभी आप कुछ चीजें करते हो कि किसी और को भी कुछ खुशी मिलेगी, or you want to do it कि it will give
You don't
happiness
feel
to the
bad,
other
na?
person,
See,
and it's not making you feel bad. You're doing it because you're happy that it'll make that other person smile, or it'll be good for that person.
that's what I'm
You
saying.
know.
Your interest comes first. So if one thing is making you negative and the other person positive, don't do it. But if one thing is making you neutral and the other person is getting positive, so that positive is in your space, somehow, somewhere it's going to add positivity to you. So you can't go
Yeah.
below, you can't go negative.
Yeah. Yeah, like because you talked about this problem, I also have this problem of finding it difficult to say no. But sometimes when I'm not saying no, it's because I feel अरे उसको तो उसके लिए तो अच्छा होगा ना, चलो उसको खुशी मिल जाएगी. But हो सकता है मुझे अपना थोड़ा स्केड्यूल एडजस्ट करना पड़े या कुछ चेंजेस करना पड़े, पर मुझे वो बहुत फर्क नहीं पड़ता उस चीज से. बट मुझे
अगर
लगता है
फर्क
कि
नहीं
कहीं
पड़
ना
रहा तो
कहीं
इट्स ओके ना. आई एम टॉकिंग आपको फर्क पड़ रहा है. That means you are going from a positive to a negative so that the other person gets into positive. No, that is a clear no. But you are in that same neutral zone, but it's another positive on the other side. That's seva. Do it.
करेक्ट सेवा. ओके.
Epilogue. Ikigai, the art of living. Mitsuo Ida was one of the most important calligraphers and hequists of the 20th century. He is yet another example of a Japanese person who dedicated his life to a very specific ikigai, communicating emotions with 17 syllable poems using a shadow calligraphy brush. Many of Ida's haikus philosophize about the importance of the present moment and the passage of time. The poem reproduced below could be translated as, in the here and now, the only thing in my life is your life. In another poem, Ida writes simply, here now. It's an artwork that seeks to evoke feelings of mono no aware, a melancholy appreciation of the ephemeral. The following poem touches on one of the secrets of bringing ikigai into our lives. Happiness is always determined by your heart. The last one, also by Ida, means keep going, don't change your path. Once you discover your ikigai, pursuing it and nurturing it every day will bring meaning to your life. The moment your life has this purpose, you will achieve a happy state of flow in all you do. Like the calligrapher at his canvas or the chef who, after half a century, still prepares sushi for his patrons with love. Conclusion. Our ikigai is different for all of us. But one thing we have in common is that we are all searching for meaning. When we spend our days feeling connected to what is meaningful to us. We live more fully. When we lose the connection, we feel despair. Modern life estranges us more and more from our true nature, making it very easy for us to lead lives lacking in meaning. Powerful forces and incentives, money, power, attention, success, distract us on a daily basis. Don't let them take over your life. Our intuition and curiosity are very powerful internal compasses to help us connect with our Ikigai. Follow those things you enjoy and get away from or change those you dislike. Be led by your curiosity and keep busy by doing things that fill you with meaning and happiness. It doesn't need to be a big thing. We might find meaning in being good parents or in helping our neighbors. There is no perfect strategy to connecting with our Ikigai, but what we learned from the Okinawans is that we should not worry too much about finding it. Life is not a problem to be solved. Just remember to have something that keeps you busy doing what you love while being surrounded by the people who love you. I repeat, life is not a problem to be solved. Just remember to have something that keeps you busy doing what you love while being surrounded by the people who love you. So, this is the end of the book. There are certain 10 rules of Ikigai. So, in the end, whatever is happening, whether you find your Ikigai or you don't find your Ikigai, as long as you are having fun and you are enjoying yourself and you are enjoying the company of others around you, and your stress, your tensions do not bother you, hoenge, but they don't bother you so much. You are in a good zone. Maintain that. So, the 10 rules of Ikigai, we'll conclude this journey with 10 rules we've distilled from the wisdom of the long living residents of Ogimi. Stay active, don't retire. Those who give up the things they love doing and do well lose their purpose in life. That's why it's important to keep doing things of value, making progress, bringing beauty or utility to others, helping out and shaping the world around you, even after your official professional activity has ended. Number two, take it slow. Being in a hurry is inversely proportional to the quality of life. As the old saying goes, walk slowly and you'll go far. When we leave urgency behind, life and time take on a new meaning. Number three, don't fill your stomach. Less is more when it comes to eating for a long life. Two, according to the 80% rule, in order to stay healthier longer, we should eat a little less than our hunger demands instead of stuffing ourselves. Number four, surround yourself with good friends. Friends are the best medicine there for confiding worries over a good chat, sharing stories that brighten your day, getting advice, having fun, dreaming, in other words, living. Five, get in shape for your next birthday. Water moves. It is at its best when it flows fresh and doesn't stagnate. The body you move through life in needs a bit of daily maintenance to keep it running for a long time. Plus, exercise releases hormones that make us feel happy. Number six, smile. A cheerful attitude is not only relaxing, it also helps make friends. It's good to recognize the things that aren't so great, but we should never forget what a privilege it is to be in the here and now in a world so full of possibilities. Number seven, reconnect with nature. Though most people live in cities these days, human beings are made to be a part of the natural world. We should return to it often to recharge our batteries. Number eight, give thanks to your ancestors, to nature, which provides you with the air you breathe and the food you eat, to your friends and family, to everything that brightens your days and makes you feel lucky to be alive. Spend a moment every day giving thanks, and you'll watch your stockpile of happiness grow. Number nine, live in the moment. Stop regretting the past and fearing the future. Today is all you have. Make the most of it. Make it worth remembering. Number 10, follow your ikigai. There is a passion inside you, a unique talent that gives meaning to your days and drives you to share the best of yourself until the very end. If you don't know what your ikigai is yet, as Viktor Franklin says, your mission is to discover it. The authors of this book wish you a long, happy, and purposeful life. Thank you for joining us, Hector Garcia and Francis Mirals. Some notes and some suggestions.